remember I got my first letter, as it was back then, when I was 14 years old, competing for Great Britain in the Junior European Championships. And it was something that I dreamed of, because, you know, I'd always dreamed of going to the Olympic Games, but there's steps along the way. And to start representing Great Britain as a junior was that first step. And I read the letter and it said the Junior European Championships in Leeds, in Yorkshire. Not that Leeds is a bad place, but I was hoping to go abroad, so my first international competition for Great Britain was in Leeds. But it didn't take away from the pride that you feel and all those long hours that you've worked before school, after school, you know, while studying. It's no mean feat to be you know, at school and pursuing your goals within your sport. Yeah, so you definitely have to declare your dives. That's why I know, and the audience knows, and more importantly the judges know exactly what dive the divers are going to perform, either in the individual or the synchronised. And if a diver or divers do not perform that dive, it's a failed dive. It doesn't happen very often, especially at the Olympic Games, but if it does happen, one diver, say, falls off the side of the board, you don't get a restart or a re-go, it's 0 points across the board, and if that happens, it's a complete debacle, and you know, you're certainly going to be out, well, you'll be in last place if that happened to you. So yeah, you can't suddenly think, oh my goodness, the competition's hotting up, I'm going to bust out something, you know, different. So it could be a bit of a game of tactics. When do you put your riskiest dive? Do you put it at the end and then worry about it for the whole thing, or do you get it out the way early on in your list so you settle in? So you'll see in the individual event especially, it's a bit of a game of tactics. When are you going to put your best dive in? When are you going to put your highest degree of difficulty in to really put pressure on the rest of the competitors? Well, it's been a long journey for me today, so I've kind of gone full circle. I started in sport before I can remember, actually. I was a hyperactive child, drove my parents up the wall, so to try and deal with me, they actually gave me the chance to take part in all these activities to try and tire me out. So I did swimming from year dot, I was gymnastics, mother and baby gymnastics, and then I just started diving. Really, it's just one of many different sports that I tried when I was 8 years old. But because of my 6 years of gymnastics, I actually became quite good at diving quite quickly, and then it subsequently became my favourite sport, and then I started to excel, and by the time I was 11 I was best in the country for under 12s, made the junior team at 14, you know, the senior team at 16. These all used to be impressive until Tom Daley came along, but there we go, made my first Olympic Games at 18, and then, you know, first Games at 18 in 1996 was phenomenal. Went again to my second Olympic Games in Sydney and placed 4th, all the way to the highest highs of a silver medal in Athens, and then couldn't quite hang on for Beijing. But now here I am as a BBC commentator and pundit, and bringing it alive for everyone at home. And so, new passions of mine. In fact, I quite like the winter sports. I've never been able to do any winter sports through risk of injury. So if I injure myself skiing or snowboarding, then my diving career would have been, you know, impacted in such a way. So I never went to the slopes until I retired from competing. And now I love the snowboarding. I'm a boarder, and I'm not very good, but I'm pretty fearless and I get stuck in. So I'd like to give, you know, some of those a whirl. That'd be good too, because that's kind of a new, exciting adventure for me.